Greetings, YouTube. And no, I am not referring to the magical beast that brings us pork, bacon, and ham. I am in fact referring to political pork. So what is political pork? Political pork is unnecessary government spending. But one man's pork is another man's vitally required government contract. And therein lies the rub. Some congressmen will say, whoa, I need this contract for my state. For example, say you were a congressperson from Rhode Island and your state is producing a jet engine for the military. You are going to do everything within your power to make sure that that jet engine gets built and bought by the U.S. military, even though the U.S. military has said repeatedly that they do not need nor want the jet engine that your state is making. But if you don't make that engine, that means that the corporations in your state will not get the funding. And how much money you bring home, how much bacon you bring in, is really going to have an impact on what the likelihood is of your getting reelected. It's sad, but it's true. If you don't bring the bacon home, lots of times, people don't vote for you. But to a congressperson from Colorado or Oregon or Alabama, that contract in Rhode Island is probably going to sound like political pork. Unnecessary spending. Frankly, they'd be right in this case. But it's important to remember that these government contracts, and there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them, I would probably say thousands, is that they aren't just tax dollars redistributed. They are. They're jobs. And right now, jobs are near and dear to the hearts of Americans. Here in the state of New Hampshire, I just heard a news piece yesterday on the way to work that the state of New Hampshire is going to be getting rid of 255 positions between now and July 1st, because our next budgetary cycle begins July 1st. I'm not really sure why. You'd think you'd aim for January 1st, but that's just me. But July 1st is when it starts. And they've just announced that they're going to eliminate 255 jobs. Now, that doesn't sound like a huge number. But they're also going to leave 800 positions that are currently open vacant. So that's now 1,000 jobs that are not going to be filled. 255 of them which will be lost between now and July 1st. What do those people do? Where do they go? Now, obviously, they can collect unemployment at least for a while. But what if they don't find jobs in that time? What if they decide to cut and run? What if they don't cut and run in time? What if they decide to hope and pray that they can make it all the way to the end of their unemployment and find a job before it runs out, and it comes and it runs out, and they don't have a job, and now they got no money to move? So what happens to these people? I gotta be honest, I don't have an answer. But I'm not a politician. I'm not an economist. And you'd think that these people, who are in theory have some clue how the economy works, would have a plan, but we have no plan. We just tell 255 people that you're gone. And since they haven't even announced who it is, every single employee in the state of New Hampshire is probably terrified at the moment that they're going to be one of them. I don't want to think about how much stress that causes. Because you know something? I've survived 4 layoffs. I know exactly what kind of stress that causes. It sucks. So whenever I hear about political pork, I'm really listening to who is going to lose jobs. Now, some programs really are unnecessary. I freely admit this. And we need to cut back on a whole lot of things to save our nation and pull us out of debt. We need to cut a whole lot of stuff. We need to trim programs, even ones that I hold near and dear. We need to, because we have no choice. We need to raise the retirement age from 65 probably to 67. That would be a good step, and we should do that soon. Like, say, in the next 5 years from now, retirement age is going up to 67. I got no problem with this. I accept that. I know I'm not retiring anytime soon, so it wouldn't bother me at all. But we also need to make sure that we bring in tax dollars. We need to cut all the tax breaks that are out there right now for people who don't deserve them, like the really wealthy. The $700 billion of tax breaks that they're going to be getting because those Bush-era tax breaks were extended by the Obama administration. Yeah, I'm probably going to vote for Obama in 2012, but because I don't want to vote for a Republican. It's not going to be because I'm happy with Obama at the moment, because I'm not. He's not liberal enough by half. On his best days, he is a moderate centrist. And on his worst days, like those tax cuts, he's center-right. If he goes any further to the right, he'll be running on the Republican ticket in 2012. So, what do you think of when you hear the phrase political pork? Are you concerned when contracts in your state might be cut? Or do you think that it's only something you have to worry about when it affects another state? So is this redistribution thing something that you're on board with? Or are you opposed to it? Inquiring minds want to know, or at least me.